Y'all didn't hear nothing I said the whole time. How about that? Isn't that bootleg? Look, I just laid it down. Just so y'all know, I laid it down like get down Bobby Brown, okay? Well, can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? If you can hear me now, let me know that you can hear me now, because this whole entire time we over here trying to fix things and make sure. Hello, everybody. We will make sure that when we repost this, though, we will repost this so that you can actually hear it right when we started this thing. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all do me a favor. No wonder y'all weren't typing in what you did. How you doing? Hello, welcome, good evening. Okay, so guys, do me a favor. Look, we have been having some technical difficulties with Facebook all day long. Then we get up in here, we having technical difficulties with our audio, but that's because there is something big that's going to take place tonight. So do me a favor. Number one, if you live in Georgia or you know someone that lives in Georgia, please tag them. We've got a sister that's coming up here, guys, and you do not need to not tag anyone. You understand what I'm saying? You do not need to not. You do not need to ignore this video that we're going to be doing tonight, because it's all about being informed. So I did a whole introduction. Y'all saw my mouth moving. I promise you I was saying something real good. I was like having an out-of-body experience, darling. But it's okay. We're going to start all over, okay? First of all, Taurea Vision Avant here with As Real As It Gets TV. You guys are here for a treat. We put this on Urban CEO Network every single Monday and Thursday live. Even if we having challenges, we keep on pushing, because that's what an Urban CEO does. Urban stands for unapologetic, real bold, action-oriented, and non-conforming. And just to kind of be real brief with it, because I was saying this at the beginning, I was having a whole conversation about this whole situation. Thank you so much for letting me know y'all couldn't hear me. I was talking about how somebody emailed us and said, well, I'm not a CEO, so I don't know if Urban CEO is for me. See, this is what's wrong with our community, guys. We've got to start taking ownership of our lives, because you are a CEO. If you wake up every single day and you have to be in control of what takes place within your household, if you've got to go and work a job and do what you need to do so that you can climb that ladder, you are a CEO. So CEO is not just about going to the business administration and registering your business, which most of y'all ain't did anyways, but going to get a business license. Being a CEO is so much more bigger than that, guys. And so I want you to understand, take ownership. And another thing, we've been dealing with so much right now, guys, unfortunately, within our community, within our world. It's been crazy. And one of the things that I feel that we lack is not just ambition, not just fight. We lack knowledge. I had somebody the other day talking about, well, y'all need to go vote. If you vote, you need to vote. You need to vote. In my mind, I'm just like, well, the problem is that most of us in our community, when we do go vote, if you're anything like me, you don't understand what all of the positions are, number one. Number two, and let's be real, how many of y'all gonna be real with me? You've gone to go vote. You didn't know who these people were, and you just voted based on who the person's name was. Now, you know why I'm not lying? Because I went and talked to several people over the past couple of days and asked them the same thing. And every single one of them agreed. And so I'm so excited about today's conversation, because we definitely have an incredible woman who's going to be talking with us. So guys, please make sure that you share this video, share, create a watch party, tag some people, invite them, so that we can be able to have an amazing time. Well, let's go ahead and move this thing, because now we are getting behind time and we were supposed to have been already in the next part. We're going to bring on one of our incredible ambassadors who's going to be sharing with us today the quote of the day. So none other than the beautiful, incredible, I hope she is ready to go, Shakita D. Days. Are you ready, darling?
Hey, Urban CEOs. My name is Shakita D. Days. I am the CEO and nonprofit manager of Derrick Angel Days II Corporation. And we specialize in community affairs, gun violence awareness, and economic empowerment. And I'm here today to bring to you the quote of today. The word that resonated with me this week was freedom. Freedom is having it all. Freedom is truly experiencing freedom. And in order for us to experience freedom, we must first lay the bricks and take action. Freedom is the mindset. We must first free our minds and our hearts in order for us to become free in our lives.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I appreciate you talking about freedom, because right now many of us are feeling like, you know, we're in a state of where we are free, but we're not free. We're not free to really live our lives. And that's why, you know, yes, being able to talk about this topic of voting on today and who we should vote for is very important, because it does allow us to have a better understanding of what it is that we need to do so that we can truly have those lives of freedom, where we don't have to go out here and be destructive. Because unfortunately, for people to listen, it seemed like that's what had to take place. Where we have a young lady who's going to talk to us a little bit about what it is that she's doing for her community, for our community, the urban community. And I am so excited to have her on. But before we do that, I would like to bring up another one of our incredible young ladies who's going to talk to us about our announcements. And she's in Georgia as well. So without further ado, none other than Zainab Carter. You're live.
Well, everybody.
Sis, you are breaking up pretty bad. You're breaking up pretty bad.
Go getters. I mean, this is the CEO.
Zainab, you're breaking up.
I'm breaking up?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
You guys were breaking up too. When I was
okay, try it again. It sounds much better now.
Okay. The Urban CEO Summit is coming up June 27th and 28th, and registration will start very, very soon, guys. It's going to be free to register with VIP upgrades that comes with goodies. So we're looking forward to that. We're also looking forward to new ambassadors to join our movement. It's all about a family over here. So for more information, go to www.urbanceonetwork.com/ambassadors. And if you want to have your business advertised on Urban CEO Network, send us an email to info@urbanceonetwork.com. We look forward to hearing from you guys. Come join the movement.
Well, thank you so much. Okay, yes, much better. We got it back. Thank you so much for the announcements. Well, look, I want to shout out some of the people who are watching us, and make sure that you share. If you've shared this video, I want you to put #shared. Hello to Wanda D. Hollis in the house, Candy Martin, Craig George. Hello to Deshaunda Jennings. Hello to Elisa Mitchell, Sheldon Davis, and you are correct, Sheldon. Being a knowledgeable voter is so important. Not just going to the polls and just voting what looks good, because I ain't gonna lie, I've done it. I am sick and tired of that. I'm sick and tired of just making up excuses that I did not know. As an adult and as a 39-year-old adult, it is time that I take responsibility and become a CEO of my own knowledge. And so I'm super excited about that. Thank you so much, Elisa, for sharing. You guys share, and tag. Well, I'm excited to bring on our guest speaker, you guys. I've actually known this young lady for a very long time. I mean, I won't tell you what year we graduated from Hampton University, but we graduated, I think she graduated the year before me, and then I was the next year. She was a cheerleader, and I was on the dance line, and that's how we actually kind of connected. And then when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, this young lady was, I mean, seriously, one of the hardest working women I've ever met. You know, she was in the process of getting her law degree, and at the same time working several jobs so that she could be able to take care of getting the degree as well as her family. She passed and was able to get her degree. Not only did she do that, but she also started her own sports agency. Okay. In the midst of doing all of this too, she's also a 2-time breast cancer survivor. You guys, recently, just last year, she became the first ever African-American judge in her city, in Duluth. This is huge. This is my homegirl. Like, I've been knowing her for a long time, but you know, sometimes when you're doing your thing, you know, and you're in tunnel vision, a lot of times you don't get a chance to see all of the great things. And this is what I love so much about her, because she doesn't make excuses. So I'm literally bringing on a judge right now, guys. But most importantly, she is going to be running this upcoming election in Georgia. And this is so important, guys, that you guys want to make sure that you pay attention to what a tax commissioner is and why we need to make sure that Tiffany Porter does not miss this. So guys, Tiffany Parker Porter, guys, make sure that you tag anyone that you know in Georgia. I'm tired of us talking about what we need to do in our community. We need to vote. We need to vote. Well, guess what? This is one of those opportunities where we can all step up and step into greatness. So without further ado, I want to bring on the line we're going to just speak it into existence because you guys got to do this, the next tax commissioner of Gwinnett County, none other than Tiffany Parker Porter.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. What a wonderful introduction. I felt important. So thank you first for the opportunity. I'm so excited to talk about my platform and to really educate people about what the tax commissioner's office does. So for me, my why is that it was time for new leadership in Gwinnett. My track is I'm first a lawyer by trade and a sports agent and now a judge for the city of Duluth. My next thing was not Superior Court. A lot of people think that that would be the next thing that I would go for or a state court position. But I really looked at the needs that were coming up this election. And I looked into tax commissioner, and to my surprise, I did not understand all of what the tax commissioner was responsible for. And when I saw what that position is responsible for, I said, I can do this. I can change some things and bring an innovative approach to the tax commissioner's office so that way people will know next election or by the fall with the general election, they will know exactly what the tax commissioner does. And the tax commissioner for Gwinnett County is responsible for collecting over $1.5 billion for the county. And that was just in 2018. So I'm sure it will continue to go up. And that is a huge task. People don't understand that. When I went to vote yesterday, I was like at the very end of the ballot, it's like I kept, voting. I was like, well, where am I at? And it was just like at the end. But what people don't understand, without the tax commissioner, we don't have the tax dollars for our schools, for our parks and recreations, for other things that are earmarked in the county, unless those disbursements happen. We know that your tax dollars what pays for the community and for the growth of the community, and it's the tax commissioner's job to collect and disperse and also put forth budgets before the Board of Commissioners in Gwinnett County, and then they approve or disapprove those budgets based on what the tax commissioner brings to them.
Wow.
And I would say,
go ahead, Tiffany. I'm sorry.
And then the last little bit about the office is that this office has been ran really by the same administration for 34 years. There has not been a change. And it's time. It's time for a change. It's time for we make some adjustments for the county that better serve the county and that it reflects the changing diversity within the county.
Wow. Okay. Well, first of all, that's 30 years is a very long time. What made you decide to actually go after that? Especially, when you find out that it's been under the same leadership for 30 years. Is that something that is a bit intimidating for you, or are you excited about being able to have new change come into Gwinnett?
Oh, I'm excited. I love a challenge. I am Like, I'm fired up. When I saw what it entailed, I said, you know what, I can do this. And I want to show other people in the county that we can do this. I mean, you can be, if you're a savvy business person and you understand disbursements, how things work, you have a level of accuracy and integrity, of course, with you, then this is a position that one can hold, you know, but there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. It's not just collecting and dispersing. You have to make things accessible to the public. You have to educate the citizens as to what the office does, as well as make some innovative changes that can help collect the taxes on a better basis. So for me, I said I want to be that new change, that new face in Gwinnett, and that's why I chose the position.
I love it. So when you say tax dollars towards these different organizations, so for example, like with schools, a lot of times schools have different types of events and rallies or whatever that may be for books and et cetera, et cetera. Is the tax money, that's what actually takes care of those bills?
Well, the tax money funds different things for the schools.
Okay.
So some of those things that you talk about, yes, those are within there. But, you know, unfortunately, the last school budget was $2 billion. We don't have $2 billion to give to the schools. So we have to make sure that the larger part of the pie of that 1.8 billion that's collected is going towards the schools. So you have to look at each budget, and you won't match each budget because then we would be in a deficit. So we're constant in that office should be constantly making sure that we go about the right ways to collect the tax dollars and to make sure they're done in a timely fashion.
Thank you for that. So what separates you? You know, why is it that everybody that's in Gwinnett or knows someone in Gwinnett, why is it that we should go up there to the polls and vote for you for this position?
That's a great question. I will say this. First, I am running on the Democratic ticket. So there's the Democratic primary. And then in the general election, that person, whoever wins the Democratic primary, will go against the incumbent, Richard Steele, a Republican incumbent, Richard Steele. For me, what sets me apart is my experience. I have 3 businesses that I started here in Gwinnett County. I've been in Gwinnett County for 20 years, raised all 4 of my children here in Gwinnett County. And I have not only the schooling behind me with my JD and my MBA, but I also have the experience of handling finances, handling millions of dollars, may not have been $1 billion, but millions of dollars at a time with my businesses. And so I know exactly what needs to be done, how it needs to be handled. And I want to make sure that we have the directors that work under the commissioner, that they're well versed as well, and that they can continue to help in outreach to the community as well.
I love it, and I can definitely attest to the fact that you do understand as far as handling millions of dollars. I mean, when you started your sports agency, and then of course when you were working in law, I remember you decided to start your very own practice, which I thought was just amazing and incredible. And again, now the fact that you're running for the tax commissioner of Gwinnett County, guys, we've got to make sure that we get out there and vote and make sure that Tiffany is selected for our Democratic candidate. Now, first year in office, when you win this, what is going to be your goals for the first year as our new tax commissioner?
So the first year, I plan to have community outreach programs to where people will understand what the office does, as well as doing some other things in the community, because I've never met the tax commissioner or seen him in the 20 years that I've been here. And then prior to him, I didn't see the other person. So there needs to be more visibility. I plan to be at the local branches, making sure that things are up to par, and really listening to the needs of the customers. Because at the end of the day, if they're not serviced, then we don't get what we need. The first thing will be to implement more accessibility for the elderly and for the handicapped. or disabled. I believe they don't need to come and stand in line with everyone else. They should be able to come in via appointment, and someone should be able to sit down with them and let them know what they need to do, as well as any exemptions that they may be available to them. I think a lot of times people don't understand the exemptions that are available to them. And so that's very important. The other thing is making sure that we have more kiosks available for people that you don't even have to come into the office. You don't have to come to the office. They already have a drive-through system, which is good, but we can build upon that system and make it more accessible for people to get it done quick, fast, and efficient, as well as changing office hours, making some flexibility, because there's only about 2 offices that really have the flex hours, or I would say on a Saturday that you can go to, but we need more. People are working pretty much 8 to 5. We need to have other offices that will be open until 7 o'clock to serve those as well.
No, absolutely. I agree. I know, because I believe as of right now, don't they close like at 5? Is that correct? Yeah. So if you're working a regular job, it makes it very difficult, or you have to be able to leave work early. For many people in Atlanta or in Gwinnett, you got to be able to leave work early in order to be able to come into the office. Well,
right.
I do have one other question, Tiffany. What makes you work so hard? Like, where does your drive come from?
I get asked that question a lot, and I guess over time it has evolved, because now, of course, my children are who I work for, what I do, but I came from very humble beginnings, and for me, I was the first to go to college, first to go to law school, and I wanted to be that example to my brother and sisters as to what having an education can do for you, and I wanted to show others I was raised by really my grandmother, my great-grandmother, because my father was deceased and my mother was in and out of prison most of my childhood. And so I want to be that example, to show people that you really can make it. If you really set your sights on what you want to do, that you can come out of anything and you can make any kind of situation a great situation. So that's my drive, is to continue to, my great-grandmother has passed away, but to make her proud and to just be that example for women, especially even the single mothers out there. I will say, when I started my law firm, I had 4 children under the age of 8. I was a single parent.
I don't know how you did it.
I started out of my bedroom. And so, that just motivated me to really continue to want to reach my goals. And once I met those goals, then I had my sight on other things, such as the tax commissioner and such as being a judge in Duluth. I didn't see those things right away, but you continue to just make little milestones, make goals for yourself and then attack them.
Absolutely. Wow. And as I said, I've always just been encouraged by just who you are and what it is that you continue to bring to women. And not just to women, but to people that come from where we come from, that come from the urban community, people who come from a position of lack, and you don't make that, an excuse to determine your future. You continuously keep on raising the bar, like seriously. What do you say to those individuals? I was having a conversation the other day, Tiffany, and as I was saying, as we got started, I think one of the biggest challenges within the urban community is that, when we talk about voting, it's like you get a lot of, and I had this influencer the other day, I won't say his name, but he's like, you need to go vote. And I say, I think when you just try to put that type of, I don't even know what the word is, I don't even want to say guilt, but when you try to push that onto someone who doesn't really understand the power behind voting or understand who you're voting for, I think that, as an influencer, that's a tremendous disadvantage. And I think right now, more than ever, we've got to start making sure that we understand that it starts with every position, not just the main top position that everybody's focusing on. Because if we want things to change within our own communities, we've got to start with our local officials. So what do you say right now to maybe that person who doesn't see the value in voting, who doesn't understand, who they're voting for? What is it that you want to say to them?
Well, I'll say this first. I think that in general, or the whole United States, there needs to be a change in what we teach our children starting in elementary, middle school, and especially high school. I would say today I was out at the polls and I was talking to 3 African American young men, and we were just talking about voting. And then there was a question. I don't have a clue. I looked at this ballot and I don't know what these things mean. And so what should I do? Now I wasn't going to tell them who to vote for, but I took that time to educate them about the positions. We were out there for maybe almost an hour talking about what the positions are. People don't understand that you have a district, you have commission chairs. These are all important. These people are important for making decisions for where you live. We're so focused on the president, and I may tell you the things that are happening here with Avant Aubrey, that is with your local officials. It's your local officials, the district attorney, who will then file the charges on the appropriate people. And if you vote them in, you don't vote for them, then what? You're allowing someone else to make the decision for you. The sheriff's department, that is something that is voted in. And I think people don't understand that if you don't come out to these local races, that is where you're doing yourself injustice, because that is the most important. The tax commissioner for the county that you live in, that will affect you and affect your children and affect the schools. That doesn't have anything to do with the president of the United States. Doesn't have anything to do with that. And so I strongly urge people to, I will say this for Georgia, you can go to the Secretary of State's website, you click on elections, you click on voter information, and when you click on there, there will be another tab for am I registered to vote? You click on that, you put your information in with your county and your date of birth. When you do that, something else will populate and it'll show you everything as to what you're voting for, as well as provide you a sample ballot. You can pull up that sample ballot and then do some research on your own about those people, instead of getting to the polls and being surprised as to who are these people on my ballot. I have no idea who they are. And these are the most important people. I can't stress that enough. The most important people.
Absolutely. I mean, when we look at, just the situation with what took place in Minnesota, it was the local leadership, the local officials who made a decision to increase the charges or move it up. And so again, while we place blame on the president of the United States, we do have to make sure that we're understanding what's taking place right in our own backyards. And I hear people say it all the time, but I think honestly, Tiffany, it hit a little different. Many of us are home and we're more free. We're just kind of, available, and we're seeing stuff a little differently, I believe, than what we've normally seen it. Any last and parting words that you want to leave for all of our viewers, especially those in Gwinnett County or in Georgia, just period, Georgia, tag someone, because we all know someone in Gwinnett.
Right. Well, I first say thank you again for this platform, and I will say that it is very important for everyone in Georgia, hear me, to go out and vote. And to the citizens of Gwinnett County, I promise if I am chosen as your Democratic representative for tax commissioner, that I will do my hardest to represent the citizens, make sure that you're heard, make sure that needs are met, and do my best to improve the office, and make sure that we can just make some change here. It's time for a change in Gwinnett, and I would appreciate your vote during early voting between today and tomorrow, and then the primary election on June 9th. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, Tiffany, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you, and we are wishing you tremendous success in your new position. We know this is just the preliminary. This is just the beginning. We still have to then go into the official. So we've got to get her on the Democratic candidate, okay, on the list, right? The official Democratic candidate. We need to make sure that she is the one, guys. Again, please, all urban CEOs out here, I know for a fact, I wouldn't just bring, y'all know me, I don't just bring anybody up. This is somebody that I can tell you has a mission to be able to impact the masses, okay? And as you know, with Urban CEO, we are not just an organization about color. We are an organization about community. We have all peoples from all background, no matter where they're from. If they have a connection with the urban community, we accept them in. And that's exactly how Tiffany Parker Porter Esquire or Judge. I don't even know what to say. I'm supposed to say Judge Porter. Girl, look, let me get it together. I done known her so long. I'm just like, Lord, this is amazing. But I'm just grateful to know that she is doing this, and I believe that we should make sure that we do our best to make this thing happen. Y'all, my name is Taurea Vision Avant. I'm super excited. Again, I told you guys we're going to continue to be able to empower you with more information, understanding what these positions are. There's no more excuses out here in these streets, y'all. We got to stop with the excuses. We don't know. We don't, this and that. I was going to bring up the conversation about Blackout Tuesday. We did not have enough time. Hopefully we'll talk about that on the next show. I will say that it was very inspiring to see so many people pull together for something that I didn't even know about it until literally the day of. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I saw all these posts and I was like, okay, solidarity. Okay, we're all working together. And I thought that was powerful. Well, what if we all did that when it came to going to those polls? Okay, if we did what many did on Blackout Tuesday and make sure that we select the right people for those positions, we could change the world. But it starts with us taking action. Taurea Vision Avant with As Real As It Gets TV. Y'all, we're going to see you on the next edition, darling, okay? So look, do me a favor. We're going to go ahead and roll this thing on out. Make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend, and I'll see you guys next week. Deuces.